Very good evening, everyone. Time is 7 p.m., so let's start on time. We already have with us Dr. Shalini Agarwal, ma'am. And once again, on behalf of MTC Global family, I extend a hearty welcome to all of you in the day 2 and the final session of our workshop. Thank you, ma'am. Kindly please take over.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so should I wait for a few minutes or should I start? Because we have very less participants till now.
Ma'am, you can just
Okay,
introduce or do.
ठीक है, let me start. नहीं, okay, let me start. That is better.
Yes.
So let me share my screen. Okay. So, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible and I am audible properly to all? Okay. So let's start with this. So today I'll be talking about the qualitative research and quantitative. Okay, before I start with this, I want to clear some things that had confusions like yesterday about the model that I talked about. Is sir there? I don't know. Let me see.
He has
Sir,
not yet joined, ma'am.
he has not joined yes yet.
Not yet joined. Yes. I think
Okay.
Mr. Arnab.
Okay, Mr. Arnav.
I'll post a message in the group with requesting all to join now.
Okay, okay. So, okay. So let me repeat few things before we start about the model that we talked about yesterday. Few minutes I'll take. So yesterday it was about the uh, model building and design of the questionnaire, right? So this was the topic that we talked about yesterday, and this is the model that I have drawn yesterday. So this is this model that we have drawn, this model that we have built based on the review of literature. There was a research gap that we have already seen yesterday, and because very less studies has been done on the investor perception, almost yes, that is a very less studies that has been done on the investor perception towards the green bonds. That is why I built this model to first of all I try to find out the research gap, and after that I built this model, right? And this model is unique to me, unique. This model is unique, and that is why we built this model, right? So this is what we did yesterday. So let's talk about the today's topic. So today's topic, I will be talking about this thing, quantitative and qualitative research. Uh, the quantitative research, I will be talking how do we go for, like, what what all is included in quantitative and qualitative research, right? So quantitative, when we talk about the quantitative research, it includes the numbers. It includes the numbers. So what exactly is the difference? I'll show you the difference as well. Let me open up one paper. Initially, I'm just telling you the difference between the two. Later on, I will be talking in depth about it. But let me tell you the difference, basic difference between the qualitative paper and the quantitative paper. Let me open up a quant qualitative paper. Let me show you the difference between the two first. Then we'll proceed how we go for it. I'm opening the file. Okay. This is one paper. Let me increase the font size for it. So this is one paper. This is based on qualitative study, right? So I'm just trying to, before starting with this, I'm just trying to tell you what exactly is the difference between the qualitative and quantitative study, right? So just look at this. Look at this. What we have done here is how it is different from the qualitative studies. So this is what I'm going to tell you. Look at this here. In this paper, this is one paper that is based on the qualitative study. And the data has been collected with the help of a questionnaire. Here, the data has been collected with the help of a questionnaire or through an interview, right? Through an interview. And so what we do in qualitative studies, we write the interview as it is. We write some of the lines of the interviews as it is. We do not play with the numbers here. So we write the statements जो हमने when we have taken the interview of that person. So whatever things we have got, we write this as it is. You just read it. This is on a this paper is on a dignity of a people, dignity of a security guards. So what do we do in the qualitative paper? We write the statements. Like there is a heading that we have given, precarious anadi, right? So how do the security guards they feel, right? They are humiliated. They are humiliated. There's during the service. Just a minute. So what do we do here is, so I'm telling you the difference. I'm telling you the difference between the two. So here, when we take the interview of the people, we write in a particular heading, we write the statements of the people like this, right? This is one thing. Another, look at this. Uh, this is a quote by the person. Just read it, all of you. I want each one of you to read it. When I came to join this job from my village, I had just rupees 5,000 with me. I had to deposit 1,200 to the agency for the uniform expense and my original documents like 12th sheet, election card, police verification. My wage was 3,200, but if I was caught sleeping, a deduction of 200 to 300 could be imposed. Felt like running back to my village. ATM guard, 29 years. Everybody has read this? Please raise your hands if you have read this, because this is very, very important, right? So you must read it. This is very important, right? So just read this. So what do you find? You find this is a statement that is given by the security guard, right? So interviews in this paper, the interviews has been taken from the security guards, and the statements under particular heading was being quoted as it is. We are not using here in this paper, we are not using the numerical data, right? We are using the quotes. So this is the major point of difference between the quantitative and qualitative paper. Quantitative paper, let me show you this thing. This is an example. Just read this. This is an example. Oh, this is not. Oh, I have opened something else paper. Let me open another paper. Just give me a minute. This is one paper of mine. I'm just opening it. This got published in Asia Pacific Financial Markets only recently. So let me show you this paper, and I'll show you exactly the difference between the two. So this is the main difference. What is the main difference we have to understand first? So just go through it. Look at this. We are playing with the numbers here. Look at this. This is a secondary database. This is a paper using a secondary database. So you can see here, just look at this. Look at this. So what do you observe? What do you observe in this paper? Right. So this is a data analysis part. And what do we observe in data analysis part? We observe the test, the results of the test that we have applied, right? So you can see there is numbers all around. Can you see to this? So this is the major point of difference between a qualitative and quantitative paper. Qualitative paper, we have the quotes. We do not find any numbers. Matlab, most of the time, what we do is we do write the quotes of the people. So this is the major point of difference between the qualitative and quantitative research. Qualitative research, it means we write the quotes given by the interviewer, interviewee. Have you understood this point of difference between the two? Please raise your hands if you have understood the difference between the two. Arnab sir, I'll get back to you as well. Arnab sir, we'll connect after this if you think is okay. But right now, let's talk about, when I started my session, so I wanted to talk about that model. But anyways, we'll talk about this later on, right, sir? So is this clear to everyone? I hope the difference between the two is clear, right? So let's move ahead. So when we talk about the quantitative research, it includes the number, right? So there are basically two ways of doing it. Let's talk about the quantitative research first. Let's talk about the quantitative research, right? Let me highlight this. It can be on a primary data study, or it can be on a secondary data study, right? Primary data study, what we normally do is we collect the responses with the help of questionnaire. In a primary data study, what we normally do is we collect the responses with the help of a questionnaire, right? That is, I'm talking about a quantitative research. Quantitative research means we are dealing with the numbers. So it can be of two types, primary data study and secondary data. Primary data, we collect the responses with the help of a questionnaire. So let me show you that as well. Look at this. This is a questionnaire that I have developed. This is again this is again my paper. Yesterday I also show you this paper. So I tried to make a questionnaire out of it. Questionnaire for primary data study. The basic demographic profile of the respondent. In the initial, what do we write? The basic demographic profile of the respondent: name of the respondent, age of the respondent, gender, religion, and income of the respondent, right? And next, जो हमने the model that we have created. So yesterday, let's say we have created this model, right? So the statement for this: social factor, family factor, personal factor, cost of renewable. So everything will be there into this questionnaire. So in the primary data study, how do we collect the data? We collect the data on normally on some Likert scale. Normally on some Likert scale. Abhi, right now I am onto this. Let me show you. This is the model. This is the model here right now. So I am what I have done is I have collected the data onto this statements. These are the statements. I have put the statements like this on a 5-point Likert scale. So this is a questionnaire that I will be giving to a respondent to fill. Look at this. And this data, I will be putting this into the Excel file. Or if you are giving this data can be circulated either manually, but nowadays manually the people, they do not do anything manually, so it is through a Google sheet, right? It is through a Google sheet. So the data gets converted into the Excel file, and from there you use certain tools and techniques, and then you analyze the data. This is a primary data study. Is this clear to all? Is this clear? So primary data study, any questions? Any questions till now?
Yeah, madam, one question.
हाँ जी, अर्नब जी.
Madam, these questions that you have framed, this scale for each of the independent variables. So these
Both
are
dependent and independent all.
okay. So
Yes.
these questions, these are created by you, right? So these are not necessarily taken from some other paper where the scale has already been validated and so on.
Sir, scale validation, that is a normal process. Scale validation is this is a different paper altogether. Scale validation का जो paper होता है, scale validation क्या होता है basically? It means scale validation से what do you understand by that?
No. So maybe I'm myself confused. What I'm saying is when you deploy a questionnaire for collecting primary data
Right.
from respondents,
Yes.
so the questions that you use in this questionnaire,
Mm-hmm.
these can be framed by you yourself, right?
Sir, we cannot frame these questions. We have to take a validated scale. Yesterday I also told you there was like yesterday also, like this is a problem that has happened. So let me tell you one thing. Validated scale means what? Validated scales means this thing only, like this is a social factor, this is a variable, so it has different items under it. So that scales, this social factor scale, I have taken I have taken the scale that is already validated. This person has actually, what we are using here is we are making this model. This model is new, and this model has not been made. What I was trying to tell you yesterday was like this model is new. No study has been done. Humne, from the research gap, what did we try to find out? That no study has been conducted on green bonds. So no study has been conducted on green bonds, investor perception, sorry, on investor perception on green bonds. Right. So what we have done is we have made this model, and the variables, these are only the variables, and their scales have been validated. Like let me tell you one thing. If you take a variable of your own, right? If you take a variable of your own, and the statements also of your own, but if that scale is not validated, so that is meaningless. Are you getting me at this point? If you are taking a variable and its statements is not validated, just imagine this is a social factor. Or we can take this, let me tell you this. Let's say the website app or interface is easy to use. The website app protects my privacy and seems secure. So these are the statement for a particular variable, and this scale is validated. We are just using this, but we are making a model of our own. We have to understand what we are trying to do is like we have made this model, but we have taken the variables for which the scales are validated.
So my question then is that let's say in this model, the model that we have taken, we have used a new variable there, and we have taken the scales which are already very validated through other papers, other people's studies before that.
Yes.
Now, what is the value add we are doing by doing this model?
Value added is like we have created this model. We are trying to find out the relationship between these variables that nobody has done it before. Only the statements like social factors, how do you define this variable social factors? By the statements. So only the statements are the same, but this model is new. This model that we have, this is a model that nobody has developed as yet. The statements can be the same. The scale,
Okay,
yes, this is a
understood.
new model. Have you
Okay.
understood this point?
Yeah, yeah. So
Model has not been used
uh,
anywhere.
basically, we are adding value by creating this new model.
Yes,
That
yes.
is our net value add.
Yes, we are trying to find out the relationship between these factors now. Matlab, social factors and intention to invest in green bonds and its relationship to environmental concern and belief. So this is a model. These are the variables with which we are trying to find out a relationship with. Matlab, in सबका आपस में relationship we are trying to find out. So this is what is new about this paper.
Okay, so basically we have to do some sort of a modeling, same whatever.
Yes, yes, yes. This is what I'm going to tell you. So even for the dependent variable, let's say this is the dependent variable and all these are the independent variable, right? So we all, for all these things, we have to make this questionnaire like this. We have to put the statements and this is what we have to get it filled from the people or the respondents. Huh? Somebody has switched on the mic. Please switch it off. I hope it is clear till now. Arnabji, I think
Yeah,
your
clear now. So I had a
it is
lot of
clear.
confusion. I had a lot
Now
of
it is
confusion.
clear.
As you said, yesterday that you're new to research. Yes, so I worked about 25 years in industry, but not in research. Yeah,
Okay, but I think now it is clear to you, right?
yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, so this is a questionnaire, and you get the data with the help of this questionnaire, and this questionnaire responses to these questionnaire. You put this into the Excel file. Through the Excel file, you do some kind of analysis, right? So you are getting the data in the form of numbers. We are getting the data in the form of numbers and we are analyzing it with some tools and techniques, right? So that is a primary data study. So primary data study is we are collecting the responses with the help of a questionnaire and for the first time, right? And what is a secondary data study? Secondary data study is let's say we want to find out is there any relationship, causal relationship between the stock market index of India and USA? So I'm telling you about the quantitative research. Let me repeat. I'm talking about the quantitative research. So quantitative research you can talk about the primary data study and secondary data. Primary data study, we collect the responses. We get the responses with the help of the questionnaire, and that is for the first time. So what I have shown you is this is an example of a questionnaire, right? For all the dependent, for all the dependent and independent variable as well. We collect the questions. Now we are talking about the secondary data study. That also is a part of the quantitative research. I'm giving an example. Is there any causal relationship between stock market index of India and USA? So what will you do in this case? You will get the data of the stock market index. Let me show you this. There's another paper on this. Let me show you the paper. This is the paper. Let me open the data. Okay. This is on inflation. This is a past data. Let me increase the font size. Are you people able to see this properly? Okay, what is this? This is a data of the inflation of the BRICS countries. That is India, China, Brazil, Russia, South Africa from these dates, on these dates. Daily data. Daily data of inflation. Daily data of interest rate. This is another data that is on interest rates for these 5 countries, right? So what is this? Where are you getting this data? We are getting this data from the websites, different websites, right? So we get this data. So this is the data that is already published. And we are trying to find out a relationship between these things. Between, let's say, we are trying to find out, is there any relationship between India, China, Brazil, Russia, South Africa interest rates? So what we are doing, we are collecting this data from secondary sources. We are collecting this information, data from secondary sources, and then using some tools and techniques, right? So this is called as a secondary data study. But still, what we are doing, we are making use of numbers. So this is a secondary data study. This is about the quantitative research. So quantitative research mein what exactly do we do is we play with the numbers. We play with the numbers, right? And जब आप secondary data use करते हो, so there are different softwares that you can make use of. You can make use of Python. You can make use of R software. We can make use of eView software. Right. So when we are dealing with the secondary data study, right, so these are the software that we can make use of to get the analysis of our study. But when we are talking about the primary data study, the software that we can use is SPSS, R software, R we can make use of. We can make use of PLSM. We can make use of ANOVA. Sorry, no. We can make use of PLSM, R software, SPSS, right? So these are the different software, or bhi hote hain, but these are the main software that we make use of, right? And these are the main software that we can make use of in the secondary database, right? Data is also there. Data is also there. I normally go with the eViews software. Right. So these are the different softwares that you can make use of. I hope till here it is clear. Please raise your hands if it is clear. Is it clear? Any questions till
I
now?
have a question, ma'am.
Hanji.
Uh, I've heard of free and open source software called JASP, which
Okay.
is supposed to be equal to SPSS.
Okay.
Have you used it? What's your opinion on that?
I have not used that software. What
Okay,
is that
thank
software
you.
called as? Naresh ji?
JASP. It's developed by some university in Netherlands,
What is that
so
name
that
of the software? Can you?
researchers JASP.
JASP. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I have not
developed by
used that.
some university in Netherlands so that researchers don't have to spend on software and software shouldn't become a barrier for research.
Okay, nice. That's very good. JASP, na, you are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, very. No, I have not heard of that.
Okay.
हाँ जी. ठीक है. Okay, so let's talk about. So now, what are the different segments? Okay, so let's talk about the different segments of the paper, or what are the different of a primary data paper or quantitative study paper. How do we? What are the different segments, right? So first comes the introduction. We must understand what are the different segments of the paper, or how do we write it normally, right? So this is the introduction. Introduction what do we write into the introduction part? We write about let's say we are talking about the green bonds, right? So talk about the green bonds, information even from the net, information from the net as well. So make use of the internet normal, like this. Let me tell you this. Like you type green bonds, uh, green bond and green bonds data. So market data, we can see green bond databases. You can see from here as the World Bank. This is the market data. So you can see from here, and you can mention something about that from the internet as well, right? So green bond databases, we can make use of this, and we can write something, latest research or latest things from this internet as well, right? We can download this data from here, how it works, what is the stata, like how many green bonds has been issued, how many green bond has been issued by the government in India and in the world. So this is the information that we can put from the internet, right? So what exactly is the green bonds? So we can write about the uh, about introduction में कि what exactly it is, right? What are its uses? Then information from the internet, and how our research is different from previous research, right? How our research is different from the previous research, right? This is the most important thing. You have to tell how your research is different from the previous research. So this is a paragraph. So introduction may, when we are talking about the different segments of the paper, so first comes the introduction, and in the introduction you can write these things like introduction about the green bonds, information from the net, how our research is different from the previous papers, and what is the objective of the study, you write it down, and scheme, like uh, chapter 2, sorry, uh, section 2 will include what, will include review of literature, like this. So this is how we write the introduction. This is very, very important, that this is how we write the introduction, right? When we are talking about the primary data study. So this is about the introduction. Then comes the review of literature, right? So when we are talking about the review of literature, please understand, let's say if we have this model, let's say if we have this model, right? Or let's say, let me show you another model of mine. Ek minute, let me open up my model. Let me open this. Okay, so next section is the review of literature. Let me show you how do we write that. Okay, सबसे पहले please understand, when we are talking about the review of literature, so mention something about the theory. So this is also very, 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 very important. Let me close it down. Let me close this also. Okay, so the next important thing is, यहाँ पर when we are writing the review of literature, so यहाँ पर सबसे पहले you have to write about the theory that you can use into the paper, right? उसके बाद, so let's say there is a model. Let me share this model only so that we can make use of this only. Let me put this model somewhere else. Let's say this is the model. Let me put it somewhere else. Okay, into this. Okay, right? So this is the model, let's say, right? So review of literature में what will you be doing? सबसे पहले theory. This is very, very important. अगर आप इस तरह से लिखोगे, so definitely believe me to this, that your paper will get selected into a very, very good journal, right? So उसके बाद you will be mentioning about the variables, like sense of scarcity, sense of uncertainty, social media addiction. So what is the next thing? About the variables, define the variables, Like in this model, there is sense of scarcity. Define this. What is religious value and commitment? Define this. You have to define this, right? Define the variable. So what is the first thing? Write something in, write the theory that fits into this paper. Next, define the variables like this. Let me show you this. So what we have done is, look at this, a short paragraph, sense of scarcity, a short paragraph about these variables. This is the model of my study. This is the model of my study: sense of scarcity, sense of uncertainty, social media addiction. These are the variables of my study. So what I have done in the review of literature, we have defined all these variables. Just look at this, right? Uske baad, we started, this is one thing that we have done. One more thing I would like to tell you: when you are writing these variables, when you are defining, when you are writing about these variables, make use of the latest citation. Can you see here into my paper? The citations are latest. Most of the citations, at least if you're writing 6 to 7 citations, in-text citations into each variable, so at least 3 or 4 should be new citations. Can you see? This is one citation. I'm telling you also how to write a good primary data paper, right? So this is what it is. Can you see? In each of my, I cannot I cannot share this paper, but yeah, this paper is published, and you can see in each of them. देख रहे हो? Okay. So next, so what is the next thing that you have to do? So let's say there is a hypothesis 1. So sense of scarcity with panic buying behavior. Are you all there? Let me understand. Are you able to understand? Each one of you? सबको समझ आ रहा है ना? Okay. So just look at this. Next comes the hypothesis. Now the hypothesis starts. Look at this. Now the hypothesis 1. So usme sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior. So another paragraph onto this, and below this you will be writing your hypothesis 1. Sense of scarcity significantly impacts panic buying behavior. So for another hypothesis as well. Next comes the moderator. So you can put even what you can do is like, look at this: social media addiction as a moderator. Can you see to this? And this is my hypothesis. Social media addiction moderates the association between the sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior. So this is about my review of literature, right? So what I have told you is, first of all, you mention the theory that is related to it, then define the variables, and then the hypothesis. So this is what is to be written. And after this, a model is to be shown. This is how you write the review of literature. Just look at this. I'll show you this. What we have done is, there is a model beyond this. Look at this. After all the hypotheses, all my hypotheses that I have written, after that I have shown the model. Right. Next comes the research methodology part. So next, that is the third part, that comes the research methodology part. So the research methodology part may, what all will come? You will tell the sample size, how many people has been questioned, or how many people, from how many people you have taken you have taken this, you have filled this questionnaire, sample size, right? And area from where you have filled. Like if it is pan India, so you can write pan India. If it is North India, so you can write North India, South India, so area, right? Then the tools and techniques used in the paper, right? So now please understand, because it is a quantitative study, right? So you will be using some tools and techniques. So mention the tools and techniques. If you have used PLSM, so mention about all the things. Just look at this. Let me show you the paper. Sample and data. Here only they have written the demographic profile. They have written the demographic profile. Look at this, a structured questionnaire containing 38 items and a social demographic section was developed. And this is also items under the construct. This is also very important part in the research methodology section. So you have to tell. Now look at this. This is the model. So these are the variables. These are the variables. So what you have to tell is, what you have to tell here is from where you have taken this. Look at this. Sense of scarcity is a variable that has 6 items. And from where we have taken this, we have taken from these people. These people, they have validated this variable sense of scarcity. So we have taken this variable statements from these people. Sense of uncertainty, we have dropped 1 item and we have taken 6 statements, and from whose scale we have taken these people. This is a very important part of your research, where you tell the scale that you have taken, like not the scale but the variables that you have taken, like these variables, inki jo statements, the statements of these variables, from which author you have taken it from. This is very important. And also you have to tell it is on a Likert scale, how like 1 to 5 Likert scale, or what is it. So yahan par inhone they have done the, this is also important that you have to tell what is the Likert scale. Likert scale means like 1 to 5 on a 1 to 5 Likert scale, or kaun se pe liya hai. So you have to tell this as well, right? And you have to define about the tools and techniques also. Okay, so this is also another thing. What you have to do is, like when you are talking about a primary data research, you have to validate this variables through EFA. Through EFA. Factor analysis, right? Exploratory, this is called as exploratory factor analysis. This is a tool, like what happens is, let me show you this. So what we do is like these statements. So we have to see according to our data, what we are trying to see is according to our data, will all the statements that we have taken fits into our questionnaire, fits into our respondent responses or not. Maybe let's say this statement that I have taken, let's say the statement doesn't fit in well for our questionnaire, for our survey jo humne kiya hai, usme it is not fitting well. So what we will do is we will drop this statement, right? So yahan par we have written this one dropped. Like sense of uncertainty, it has 7 items. It has actually 7 items, but we have dropped 1. So dropped 1 means we have to run it on EFA, run the EFA. So EFA is one test. This is very compulsory. If you're getting a questionnaire on a 5-point scale, right? So this is mandatory for all of us to do this way. We have to make it is mandatory for all of us to work it like this. So if we have a good model, the most important thing is that we have a good model, like this is a model, right? So it has certain statements, so all the statement is to be validated with the help of a tool that is called as a EFA, that is called as a exploratory factor analysis. This is also the very important step. I hope it is clear. Ye sabko samajh aa raha hai? Are you able to understand this?
Ma'am, can I ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, ma'am, one thing I wanted to ask is, ideally, how many variables or constructs we should take for a good model?
इट शुड बी अ टेक, मतलब थोड़ा सा लगे कि कुछ है उसमें, जैसे
As a mediator, moderator, demographic profile.
देखो, अगर लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग कि अगर आपको, इफ यू वांट योर पेपर टू बी पब्लिश इनटू अ गुड जर्नल, सो मॉडल हैज टू बी अ लिटिल टेक्निकल, थोड़ा सा लाइक जैसे ये मॉडल है, राइट, और ये मॉडल, द मॉडल दैट आई हैव क्रिएटेड यस्टरडे, सो आई हैव टेकन मीडिएटर मॉडरेटर also into this, so I can expect कि मेरा ये पेपर अगर मैं डालूं तो it should get published into A category at least. Can you see it is so technical? So I will be applying the mediate, I will be applying the EFA, CFA and then the SEM. तो इसमें और mediator moderator भी है इसमें. So you can see यहाँ पर ये भी intention to invest, ये भी mediator का काम कर रहा है. This is also working as a mediator. So you know it's a very technical and complex model. So and something new also with respect to this subject, that is a green bonds. So
So
there are
one
chances, more chances of your getting your paper published.
one small
Aditi ji,
question.
हाँ जी अर्नब जी बताइए.
Yeah, I got it, ma'am.
So to test these, madam, EFA, CFA, and these kind of things, we need to do a pilot, collect data, and then do it, right?
Pilot study you are saying?
Yeah. How else will we do that? EFA?
Yes, that is very, very important. Very good point. Pilot study is very, very important. Like if you have to collect a sample of around 400, so what you do is before collecting a large data, so what we do is pilot research, like around 50 50 respondents say you collect the data and check whether कोई भी statement की कोई problem तो नहीं आ रही है. If you need to drop that statement, you can drop that with the help of a pilot study. That is also very, very important. Yes, that is a very good point, Tarnabji. I hope it is clear. So let's move ahead. So EFA is very, very important, right? So you have to see like all the statements are fitting in to your variables or not. So for that, EFA is important, right? Next is important aspect is data analysis. Data analysis में we use some software. We use software and find out the results. ये तो this is normal. उसके बाद next important aspect is the discussion. Discussion में what do we write? A brief about the results that we have find out. Brief about the results that we have found in the previous section. Very briefly you have to mention about your results into the, and you have to compare it with previous studies. This is what we do is here is, let's say this is a model. So let's say sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior. So let's say we got a positive result. We find there is a relationship between the two. So हमारा क्या था? Sense of scarcity and panic buying behavior, right? So this was one hypothesis. So you will be talking about all the hypotheses here, and you will say the results, our study results are positive. They are positively related, and the previous studies also talks about the same. फिर यहाँ पे you give the in-text citation again about the previous study. So this is how you write your discussion part. Is this point clear to all? Is this point clear to all? Please raise your hands if this point is clear. Okay. So this is how we write the discussion. Next comes the implication of the study. Implication of the study. So implications of the study, for whom this study is useful. That is what we write it here. And if you made a table form also, if you show, then it is also very, very good, right? Implications of the study, to whom it will be useful. Like you can say it is useful it is useful for the government, it is useful for the policymakers, how it is useful, and try to tell them with the help of a, put this into a table form as well. So it will give more value to your research. Then limitations of the study and future research. And lastly, conclusion. Right? Future research means what were the drawbacks of your research? Not the drawbacks exactly. What all other things can be included in the future, right, into your model? So that is a future research, and limitation was time constraint or whatever. And the last is the conclusion. So this is how you write your uh, quantitative study paper. Same is the case if you have to write it primary data or secondary data. It is the same for both. We follow the same pattern even if we are writing the primary data study or secondary data using the, and we are using the quantitative research. We are playing with numbers. So for writing this, the things, the pattern is almost the same. Right. So now let's.
Just may I ask you something? So you can choose to ignore if time is not there.
No, it is okay.
Yeah, see, I wrote one paper, a secondary paper, quantitative, on the creation of a specific type of ETF in India, with the mixed mode ETF, which doesn't exist in India, and many exist in the United States, of course, but nothing in India. So whenever I send it to a journal for publication, the only response I have gotten till now from 3-4 Springer journals and all, that this does not fit the aims of our journal. Although that same journal will publish a Chinese author writing almost this on the same lines. So I find it very...
Arnab ji, actually, मैं आपको ना एक चीज बताती हूँ. Let me tell you a very important thing. Either you have to be a renowned person. Like even I find it very difficult to get my papers. My paper got even desk rejected, right? Sometimes, but it got accepted as well. Is this year though I have got 8 papers accepted, thanks to God. But anyways, what happens is normally either you have to have a very good collaboration. I will suggest you to collaborate and try to collaborate with the foreign author as well. Because, when I was talking to one of the editors of the journal, this is also very, very important to understand. So he told me, one of the editor told me, ki we desk reject those papers that does not have a foreign authors and the renowned person. So, I wrote one paper. That was my friend's paper in Kybernets. There is a journal, and we were 3. One of the next 2 people were very renowned people. They have many A categories papers. So that paper got accepted very easily. This is also very, very important. You have to understand. मतलब हमें यहाँ पे understand करना होगा कि like you need to either collaborate. This is also very, very important, and try to have one foreign author in your paper. That paper will get accepted easily. Try this next time, right? And try to collaborate with Indians also, but that person should be a renowned person, right? Or you start with the smaller this thing, like from smaller journal. Yes.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question about this? The question is, ma'am, like if you are talking about UGC cared journals, Group 1 and Group 2, so which one would be more preferable, and which one generally gets more acceptance in the universities, basically, Group 1 or Group 2, basically?
Actually, let me tell you one thing, Ramashankran ji, ki like aaj ki date mein na, the different universities have different norms, right? So, like, let me tell you, there is a Jaipuria University in Noida. Jaipuria. Wahan par they go for ABDC category journals, right? ABDC may, and even they select those peoples that have A category journal paper in their CV, and the amount they give to the author or to their employee is around 2 lakhs. If you publish a category paper, they give you 2 lakh rupees as an incentive, right? So I was talking to one of the professor in Australia. So he told me he is from RMT. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में आरएमटी यूनिवर्सिटी है, उसमें से ही टोल्ड मी कि एबीडीसी डजंट मैटर इन आवर यूनिवर्सिटी, व्हाट वी गो फॉर इज वी गो फॉर Q1 or SCI journals. So it depends from university to university. Normally UGC care is not acceptable, but you have to go for Q1 Q2 ranking, Q1 ranking, Scopus and SCI papers, ABDC, ABS, FT50 also. So go for those, yes. So go for those journals. That is important. But most of the most of the universities, good universities, they do not go for the UGC care. They go for these rankings.
Scopus they generally prefer.
No, Scopus, the good universities, they prefer वही ABDC, ABS, Q1, Q2. Scopus तो साथ में ही हो जाता है वो. But this is what is required. So let's move to the next thing.
Thank you, ma'am.
So let's move to the qualitative. Qualitative.
Madam, I have a question before you move on.
Anji.
You mentioned about this testing of questionnaire through EFA. Like broadly, what is it? What is the procedure of doing that? Is that a software tool or like?
That is SPSS or PLSM में आपको करना होता है. Actually, what you are trying to do is, like आपने लिया ना. Let me open this for you. एक मिनट, let me show you the statements. ये जो statements थी ना हमारी सारी, इसको एक्चुअली क्या करना है, मैं आपको एक चीज बताती हूँ कि लुक, ये दिस इज सेंस ऑफ स्कैरसिटी, ये वेरिएबल है, इसकी ये स्टेटमेंट्स हैं, ठीक है. तो वी हैव टू चेक वेदर इन अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर क्वेश्चनर, जो क्वेश्चनर हमने लोगों से भरवाया है, राइट, द रिस्पोंडेंट they have given the answers to these statements, whether all these statements fits into this variable in our paper or not. So that is called as a EFA. Next, even again, what does it mean? SOU, sense of uncertainty. So it has these many statements. So some other person have tested, made the scale. So whether all these statements fits into our paper or not, this is what the EFA checks off. What are the, maybe what we have to do is, maybe we have to delete this statement. We cannot, let's say we cannot move with this statement. So what we will, because it is not fitting into our paper, it is not fitting into our criteria. So let's say यहाँ पर ये results EFA का let's say 4.72 आया. So ये results के ऊपर depend करता है कि what is the value that you derive from it, and if it is not fitting into our paper, so we have to delete it. That is what is EFA. I hope it is clear.
Yeah, like what is a cutoff score or something like that? Accepted cutoff score, anything like that is there?
Around अगर 6 से ज़्यादा हो तो it is good. वो उसमें ना और tables भी होते हैं. So SPSS में if you go for it ना EFA, तो they have so many tables into it.
Okay, thank you.
मतलब एक ही table नहीं होता. There are many tables that you check and then you find out कि which statements fits in your paper or not. That is a long process. We can go for EFA, CFA in the another week, another workshop, I feel. That will be software based. Questionnaire को validate करना. Anyways, so let's move on to the next topic, that is a qualitative paper study. I will, इसमें ना qualitative study, it has different ways of doing it. So today we'll be talking about the thematic analysis. Thematic analysis mein I'll give you an example how I worked on one paper on this qualitative analysis. So how I did it, I'll show it to you. How do we do it? That all I will tell you. It's very interesting. What I feel is, I find doing the qualitative paper is more interesting than the quantitative paper, because it has more logic, right? So let me tell you how I did this qualitative paper, and I'll show you my paper as well into this. So let's talk about this. This is okay. So in the qualitative paper, so what we do is, how do we start with it? This is a quantity. Let me close it down, and let's start with the qualitative thematic analysis. This is one type of it. So what I did was, my topic was financialization of household of middle income group people. So what does it mean? When the people, please, are you all with me? Sab hai saath, please raise your hands. Raise your hands if all are with me. Okay, nice. So let's start with it. Okay. So what exactly do we do is, like, this topic is related to, this is a little new topic, ki aaj ki date mein, what all is happening is, like, our financial institutions, they are giving loans and loans to everyone, each and every person, right? So what is happening is, we all are trying to have a house or a flat, right? So hum le rahe hain, to but we are finding it difficulties. We are finding it very, very difficult to survive, right? So this paper consists of key, like, in this era of financialization, where money is considered as everything to to the whole people in the world. Money, money, and money. Every person is talking about money nowadays, right? So with so everybody wants a house or a flat. So if they're taking a house or a flat with the help of a loan, so what are the problems they are finding it out? So how did I go for it? I'll narrate each and every step with you. So what I did was, I selected, okay, when we talk about the qualitative study, you can have a less respondents. It is, this is the, ये इसकी खासियत होती है कि you can have a less respondent, even if you have taken an interview of 30 people, that is enough, right? Even if you have taken a interview of 30 people, that is more than enough. But it depends, like, if you're getting a repetitive answers from each one of the respondents, so then you stop. So even you can take 50 respondents. So isse zyada normally it is not required, to be very honest, right? So what you do is, you just take an interview. What I did, into this is, like, called the person I called the person. I started, I have a set of questions in my mind, what I want to ask. So I started asking the questions from the people that is there in my mind, and I recorded them. This is important that you record all the questions. This is one way of doing the qualitative analysis. Let me be very clear. So this is one way of doing qualitative paper, isko bolte hain thematic analysis, right? So I recorded that. After that, so what I did was, let me share it with you. I don't know. No, not this. Ek minute. Let me show you. Okay, this is the one. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, now like this. So what I did was, what was the first step? First step was, it was a little technical. It was a little time consuming, this process. So I took the interviews. Look at this. I took the interviews of the people. I named these peoples. Look at this. I took the interviews of around 25 people, and these are the names of the people. And what I have talked, I have recorded this, and I have recorded this, and then I have written it down like this. I want all of you to read it. Few of the questions. Let's say Shalini. This is Shalini, me, and this is Krunal, K. K is for Krunal, and this is Shalini. So I have started asking the question. So you are the registrar in the college, Lakshmi Institute of Technology. The respondent said yes. And who all are there in your family? We are 4 people, my parents and my wife. Don't you have children? No. How many BHK is the flat you have? And when did you purchase it? It's 2 BHK and I've purchased in 2017. Right? For how much? you have bought the house around 22 lakhs and it's in Navsari. This is in the state of Gujarat. So where did you live earlier? Same place, Navsari. At my own house, father's house, we were looking for a big house and the older one was 1 BHK. Do your parents stay with you? Yes, they do. Earlier it was a small house and that is why we shifted to BHK. So what you have to do is, what is the first step? Let me start with this again. So what is the first step when we are talking about a qualitative study? So you take the interview of the people and record it. Believe me, what I find is this is more interesting than writing a paper on quantitative study, right? This is what my opinion is. So what is the first step? The first step is interview of the people, record it. Take the interview of the people and record this. Then what is the second step? Convert this into writing, right? So what is the second step? Convert this into writing. All the questions, question and answers, right? So this is how we do it. What is the next step? Start finding the main themes out of it. Let me show you my paper now. My final paper, I'll show it to you. Let me show you the final paper. Yeah, final paper. Okay, not that one. Okay, this is my final paper. Are you all there with me ना? मैं इसलिए भी पूछती रहती हूँ. I just wanted to check मेरा internet connection में तो नहीं कोई problem है. Okay, so just look. Please switch off your mics, all of you. Everybody, please switch off your mics. मेरा ख्याल से किसी को on रह गया. Okay, so what is the okay? So I was trying to show you this thing. Now this is the findings of the study. Look at this. So what I did was, this is the first table. All the people I have taken deliberately taken the respondents, especially who has taken a housing loan, right? So this is my first table into this. So everybody, they have taken a loan, and the people who have taken a housing loan is my respondent. So amount of loan, unki salary, unka time period, kitne time mein, kitna flat, monthly installment, and place of living, kahan par unhone flat ko liya hai. So this is my first thing. Let me show you another. Out of those questionnaire, right? So questions also have this, why the respondents have taken the flats, why they have taken the flats. So I have what मैंने क्या किया next step में, what I try to do is I try to find out the main themes out of the questionnaire questions. ये जो script, this is the script of the people answer question and answers. Out of this I have made this paper. Can you see to this? Like, what is the first question that, what is the main theme that I have now talking about? Respondent have different reasons for buying the flat, which are as rented accommodation for 5 to 10 years. The people, they have been living into the rented accommodation for the last 5 to 10 years. That is why they have bought the flat. That is the reason. ये कहाँ से मिला ये सब कुछ मुझे? Where I have got this? I have got this from this script. Please understand, this is the script that I have got it, and you know, so from this only. So look, what are the difficulties they are facing? Look at this. Now the difficulties of the people. This is the main theme. So when we are writing a qualitative study, so you have to make a tables like this. Look at this. Financialization of household, loan of the household, for different types of, every people, they have taken different kinds of loans. housing loan, so they have taken. Beyond this, they have taken different kinds of loan. Vehicle loan for gadgets, household appliances. Look at this. Everybody is taking the loans, right? So you have to mention, and these are the quotes of the people. Look at this now. This is the most important thing. I have purchased car on loan for a period of 4 years, paying 4,000 EMI. Can you see to this? ये कहाँ से मिला मुझे? Where I have got this? ये सारा का सारा मुझे कहाँ से मिला? I have got all this from the script that I have written, that I have copy. मतलब इसकी जो मैंने कॉपी बना ली स्क्रिप्ट की, ये सारी. Look at this. ये स्क्रिप्ट कम से कम, you have to take an interview of at least more than half an hour. More than half an hour only help you to give answers to your questions, right? So this is a very long paper that I have taken, made, and out of these scripts data that I have made this, right? And can you see, these are the tables. These are the tables in the table form. Look at this. What are the difficulties they have got? So all the difficulties has been put into it. Let me show you. Now we have to write this as well. Financial planning. Let me show you. Okay. Look at this. What I have done is, यहाँ पर I have quoted the person's opinion. Just read this. Just I have highlighted this. While buying a washing machine, just read this bolded one. Right? Again, read this. I'm highlighting it. Maybe red. Let me do this red. Look at this. All my respondent were the teachers from the school, colleges, right? So what they have written, financial planning, right? And how they are taking loans, what are the problems? Look at this, financial discipline. They have to live into a financial discipline. Just look at this. यहाँ पर, this is again a quote. This is the next heading. This is the next main theme. And उसके अंदर I have written something about what I have tried to understand from all the script. This is a generalized thing that I have written, and after this I have written about the uh, quote from the people. Quote from the people. I don't send my clothes to washerman for washing and ironing. I try to reduce my visit to the beauty parlor to save, and so does my daughter. We have one maid before taking the loan, but now we do it ourselves. Teacher or the assistant professor, 40 years. So this is how you write. So what I have done in this paper is, what I'm trying to tell you is, uh, from the script, that you have written, right? So what you will be doing is, you will be trying to see from all the script, like I have taken a sample of 25 people in my this thing. There is a sample of 25 people. So what I do is, I will go through all these scripts. I'll go through all these scripts, and all the scripts, I'll try to divide this things into a different themes out of it. Like the themes, let me show you. Let's say financial discipline is one of the themes of my paper, right? So I have written, uske baad I have written something general. And after this, just read this as well. Read this as well. I want everyone to read this. This section deals with how a home loan impacts the middle income group. Availing of home loan creates the need for a financial discipline among the respondent. Read it, please. Everybody has read it? Are you able to understand? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Please raise your hands if you are able to understand this. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions onto this?
So, madam, this kind of paper, how do you conclude, or how do you sort of find the conclusions? Because to me, it looks like, from whatever I see of your paper, to me, it looks like that for this category of respondents, a housing loan is like a killer blow, because 50% of your salary, if you're paying on repaying one loan, then
Yes. So this will be my, conclusion. Ki the people who are taking a housing loan, their 50% of their salary goes on to this, and they are living into a financial discipline and something like that. And the government, isme implications also we can give. Ki the like housing is the basic necessity of the people, and it should not be. It should be the prices of the houses should be reduced. Nareshji, can you please switch off your mic?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Okay, so this is how. Hanji, okay, Naresh, yeah, bataiye. Have you understood, Arnabji? Ek minute, Naresh. Have you understood, Arnabji?
Yeah. So it also has some other implications, like this category of respondents is not paid very well.
Middle income group people.
Yeah.
This is about the middle income group people, yes.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Hanji, Nareshji.
Yeah. In such a situation, like to make a broader generalization, how do you run this through a statistical test, ma'am?
No, there will not be a statistical test. Nothing will be done. No, it is a. Can you see any data here? No, there is no data out here. Look at this. This is a script that I have asked the question and he has responded like this. So there is no numbers.
At the end of it, everything is turned into numbers at some point of time.
Qualitative, no.
I thought there might be some statistical
qualitative. I told you the first step. My opening remarks were the difference between the qualitative and quantitative study. The qualitative study, when we talk about, we mention the quotes. That is why I'm trying to tell you to read this. Look at this. This is a qualitative study. So this is the basic difference between a quantitative and a qualitative. There's no numbers. We are not playing with numbers. We are playing with the quotes here. Look at this. And we are mentioning also, he is the assistant professor who is 50 years old, and we have taken the interview of this person. So we are mentioning here everything. So this is a qualitative study. That is the difference between a quantitative and a qualitative study. I hope it is clear, Nareshji.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
Ma'am, may I ask one question?
Hanji.
I just want to know, when you are quoting a particular person from, let's say, what that person has said, do you have to use quotation mark, or is it okay without it? Because you're citing the...
No, you have to make it you have to show that this is different from this. Like even in this paper, you can see here, this is a professor Ernesto. He's a professor from IIM Ahmedabad. So this is his paper. So it will come to know, just look at this.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
It is separated from this and this.
Yes.
So
thank you, ma'am.
This is a qualitative study. Okay, let me tell you one more example of a qualitative study. It is through a single paper case study. This is also very interesting to note. This is another way of writing a qualitative study. Let me close it down. 1 minute. Okay, this is when you write this thing, single paper case studies. Okay, we all know that there is case studies, but case study in the form of paper. Case study in the form of paper. So this is an example of it. What we have done is we have written the case study in the form of a paper, and we have submitted it as a paper only. We have not submitted this as a case study. We have submitted this as a paper. And what we have used is, we have used the codes. Like, let me show you this. This is on one of the organization. So what we have done is, look at this. Let me show you. This is, look at this. Here we have used the quotes. Look at this. So this organization, we have written about some organization, that is a Bakri Cha. So uske homestays ke bare mein we have written. So the reviews of the people we have also mentioned. Cozy and comfortable place far away from the hustle and bustle of modern life. You are greeted by warmth and hospitality by the host and his wife. There is also the cute puppy Tutu to welcome you when you arrive. We enjoyed the evening bonfire and delicious and simple homemade food prepared from locally. A great place to get away from the mad crowds for a day too. Customers comment on booking.com for Bakri Chat homestays. So, throughout this case study come paper, we have made use of the quotes. Look at this. Another, we have talked about organic and natural products. So we have talked about, again, the quotes of the people.
Thank you, ma'am.
These are again the quotes of the people. You're welcome. So again, these are the quotes of the people. So you can write. This is again a qualitative study. इसको भी हम qualitative study कहेंगे with the help of a case study. Because we are writing a paper, we have converted this into a paper. But this is a case study come paper. So यहाँ पे we are making use of the quotes, right? So this is again a type of a qualitative paper, right? So with this, I end my session. Please ask questions if you have any. किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो please ask.
Ma'am, I would like to ask one thing.
Yes.
Like, as we discussed that from the literature review, you have to find out the variables.
Okay.
And then go for the scales. But
Yes.
practically speaking, ideally, don't you think we should first go for the scales? Because if we have shortlisted some variables and the scales don't exist, then we will be in a dilemma.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with you, Aditi ji. Actually, when जैसे like I'm a finance faculty, right? तो मुझे मैं ना अभी एक पेपर पढ़ रही थी HRM practices का. तो उसमें उन्होंने एक मॉडल बनाया. So I had a word with the person. So because when we are into a particular stream, we know which are the variables that we can make use of.
Right.
You understand that? So, and then we try to see also, we go to the Google Scholar as well. Let's say, जैसे यही वाला मॉडल है ना? तो इस मॉडल में I have to check. Obviously, I have to check कि like, does this variable exist or not?
I'll just continue with the same question. Like, for example, if I'm working on academic performance and student well-being, so there are three synonyms, not exactly synonyms, but I find variables like academic performance, academic achievement, academic success. So how do we finalize the variables? Because more or less, all the three are talking of the same thing: achievement, performance, and success. So there are some words which are quite synonymous.
हाँ, तो आप उसको एक ही ले लो और उसके अगर आपको लगता है कि आपको उसके सबके स्केल्स मतलब उठानी है, स्टेटमेंट उठा लो और उसको EFA रन कर दो. जो स्टेटमेंट आपकी उसमें फिट होएगी वो ले लो आप.
ओके.
यस. आप यहाँ पर ये जो मेरा पेपर था अभी जो मैंने आपको दिखाया था, उस पेपर में आपने एक चीज ऑब्जर्व, मुझे नहीं पता है करी है कि नहीं करी. लेट मी शो यू वन थिंग. एक मिनट. उसमें ये दिखाया था कि आई हैव टेकन एक मिनट, लेट मी शो यू. मैं एक बार दिखाती हूँ. मैंने वहां पर ना 2-3 ऑथर्स के नाम लिखे थे. डिड यू सी दैट? Look at this.
Yes.
If we had taken about OC has 3 items: Chen and Yang et al, Bhattacharya, 1 dropped. तो ये आप डिफरेंट का ले रहे हो ना. इट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी आपको एक ही का लेना है. आप ये भी कर सकते हो. EFA आपका क्या करता है, आपको सारी स्टेटमेंट्स यू कैन पुट, राइट? और फिर उसके ऊपर उसमें EFA रन करो. जो स्टेटमेंट आपको लगता है वो फिट हो रही है उसको रहने दो और इसको लिख दो ये आपने यहाँ से उठाया.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
और जो ड्रॉप हो रही है उसको ड्रॉप कर दो.
Okay.
So, madam, to write one paper in this fashion would probably take you like 5 months, 6 months.
हाँ श्योर, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, वेरी ट्रू. बट मैं आपको एक और एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगी अर्नब जी. एक ना पेपर लिखा था हमने. वी वर 3 फ्रेंड्स, राइट? So we 3 of us get connected. One is in Pune, another is also in Pune, and I'm from Chandigarh. So we got connected and we wrote the paper, SLR paper, and we wrote it in 1 month. मतलब मैं आपको सिर्फ ये कहने की what I'm trying to tell you is you work in group. Do not write initially when you are writing. Do not write the paper alone. Try to be in a group because जो group की synergy होती है ना, वो आपको बहुत हेल्प करती है पेपर जल्द से जल्द खत्म करने में. So now there is.
Sorry. No, the issue is that as students who are trying to complete a PhD, you don't get such a groups because everybody is trying to complete their own work.
I do understand, sir, but actually, WhatsApp के ऊपर बहुत सारे groups हैं. तो जैसे हमारे यूनिवर्सिटी में what is the rule is like, अगर PhD student है तो first author PhD student, second उसका गाइड और third कोई भी ले सकते हो. 3 people हो सकते हैं. जो third author होता है ना, तो उसको हम फॉरेन का या कुछ ऐसा डाल देते हैं
तो
और वो कोलैबोरेट करते हैं.
मतलब काफी डिफिकल्ट है unless you collaborate through your professor who knows somebody because otherwise कोई
अच्छा हाँ, ये as far as I am concerned, I help my students like anything. So when 3 of my students from this university only completed their PhD, and I have helped them like anything. One of my students, her paper got published in SCI journal, ESPR journal, Environmental Science and Pollution Research. That is Q1 and SCI. So I only helped her in making this. This relationships and all
Without
that.
help, I don't think it's possible to publish like that. It's very difficult because either you pay very huge publication charges.
No, sir. My publication, I have never paid for a publication charges. I never put my paper into a journal that has publication charges. It is always free. I have around 30 papers that got published, and I have never, most of the times I have never paid for it. अगर pay किया भी है तो 2000 से ज़्यादा कभी नहीं किया.
2000 कुछ नहीं है. So what I'm saying is that most of these guys, they say that it's a gold route for open access.
No, sir, don't go for it. नहीं, don't go for it. ये वो लोग करते हैं पे जिनकी यूनिवर्सिटीज पे करती हैं सर. जैसे लेट मी गिव एन एग्जांपल. जैसे मैंने VIT वेलोर एक यूनिवर्सिटी है, दैट इज इन चेन्नई, एंड वहां पर अगर आपको पेपर पब्लिश करना है सस्टेनेबिलिटी जर्नल में, लेट्स से, तो उसकी फीस है अराउंड 2 lakhs. तो यूनिवर्सिटी पे इट फॉर यू, इवन फॉर द PhD student. This is what a professor from there told me about it. So normally, yeah, from a foreign country, उनके लिए फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Like a person is in US, तो उसके लिए फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So that is a small amount for them, but not for us. Anything else?
Ma'am, can we have your LinkedIn ID, please?
LinkedIn ID, okay. Did you like this session, today's sessions and yesterday's session?
Yes, ma'am. It was extremely helpful. Thank you.
It was helpful. It clarified many things in my mind, for sure. And it also told me that one needs to work very
validation of skill.
One needs to work a lot to make a nice paper.
Yeah. अर्नब जी, आप कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी से?
मैं तो इधर बेंगलोर में लोकल यूनिवर्सिटी है, CMR यूनिवर्सिटी, वहां से करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा, okay, nice. Right.
So usually the requirement is Scopus Q1, Q2. Q1, Q2 is very difficult to get published in Q1.
Take the help of your guide. That person will help you out. Anyways, anything else? Any other question? Anything else? Okay. So I think we can disperse. Acha, LinkedIn ID you were asking me, na? Ek minute, I will put this onto the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group is live, and you people can also ask the questions in there, right? If you have any doubt or anything, so you can also put it there. Fine. That is open. Okay. Thank you very much, and bye.